Hello everybody, welcome back to Financial Trading Basics, Part 9, Business Models. In Part 8 we talked about portfolio building, and there I briefly referenced just some types of business models that I like. We're just going to pick back up there. I'm just going to talk about some just different hodgepodge of ideas that I've had for just building business in general, and then I will go through just a couple business models that I'm personally looking at. I guess also I do want to revise I made a video about, not that anyone's watching my videos, but I made a video about Bitcoin and blockchain with my price predictions, just because like I said, I do this off the top of my head and my Bitcoin investment's not super relevant to me anymore. But I had the peak of all of the halving events is typically 18 months out, not 6 months out. So I thought, or in the video I said, I expected the timing of the peak to be this winter. I take that back. I now expect it to be 2021 into 2022. So like I said, I'll still be, the price points are still the same. I sold one coin average right around 22,500 just on the initial break. Past that, I'm just kind of holding my position and seeing how the trade develops throughout the year. But for the business models, the thing that I want to talk about is for anyone who's trying to start a business, and emphasize, I made the point, the first thing I think you should do to build your portfolio is to buy an established business as opposed to even a startup of your own, or investing in someone else's startup. And that's not like a definitive principle that I live by. The simple fact is the biggest thing to me in business is you can have a great idea, you need to execute it well. You can have a well-executed idea, you can have a lot of competition. If you buy an established business, what you are doing is you have solidified proof of concept. And up here I just have proof of concept and prototyping for invention in established businesses. For invention, you have to come up with the idea, you have to design something, you have to build the product, then you have to sell the product. For an established business, all of that is already done for you. And then so the question becomes, like I said, I've been looking at restaurants, I've been looking at liquor stores, I've been looking at gas stations. What would make the revenue stream or the profitability of the store, of the whatever business you're doing, go down? And for like restaurants, right? Maybe there's a lot of other competition, but if that's not happening, people like to eat food. Consumer demand, one of the first things people do with consumer spending habits is go buy food. So you would have to like destroy the menu or have terrible management. But if you're buying an established business, like I said, there's a very good chance you're not going to, certainly, I don't say certainly, but probably not even 2x, 3x, 4x, 10x the sales or the profitability. But what you're going to do is you're going to build a sense of financial security to go, if you want to go try to do a unicorn type business or really have a big idea. If you have $125,000, $250,000 in solidified cash flow, it becomes a lot more practical. But the big thing is proof of concept. An established business has proof of concept in a marketplace, which is the biggest thing for the viability of any business. Building business from the point of sale and the buyer. The overriding concept in my head to build business is saying, why would the buyer say yes to this? Why would someone, I'm a consumer, everyone consumes, proportionally not that many people are entrepreneurs or business owners. So what would be something that I would spend a good margin on, right? Experiences. I'm not going to go pay $5 for a hot dog at Kroger, but I might pay $5 for a hot dog if I'm walking around, I don't know, a festival or something. So always approach your business model for literally, would this work in be level-headed, be straight shooting with yourself, and say, would someone buy this? And go do actual market research, go ask people. And that, I think, having that in your brain or in your forefront of your mind from the beginning of trying to make money is the best thing possible, because a lot of people want to build their dream. And again, I've talked about, I think that's just dumb American narrative, but if you approach building business from the point of the buyer, you'll weed out a lot of stupid ideas rather quickly. Because you can also do market research and comparison, right? If you want to make $1 billion or $1 million, like we've talked about from trading, financial trading as having a definitive goal. Well, if you want to make $1 million, go find a business that's already operating, making $1 million, and saying, what do these people do? Go find someone that makes $1 billion and say, what does this person do? What type, not the person, what business model produces $1 billion in profitability? And you can immediately, right, it's goofy to me to say, I'm going to have this product and it's going to sell 500 million units. And maybe it does, but being realistic, the opportunity that's in the market, like I said, if you have an established cash flow, that is to me where your big wins will come from. Like I said, you could have the unicorn, you could be the person that founds that company, or you could just invest in them in the open market. Scale in manufacturing is easier than ever. I just wanted to say for building a business model, you can get your prototype or if you do want to do an invention or novel business concept, you can get to scale or to manufacturing with ghost kitchens, with crowdfunding raising, with social media marketing way faster than ever. So the first thing you want to do is establish if your proof of concept is viable. And then skill sets for career opportunity and personal development. To me, this is something that everyone can do, right? If I wanted to make an invention, like I said, and I'm going to have a Kickstarter, I'm going to have to make a video about that. So if I have some basic video editing skills, if I'm a good public speaker, if I can do music, specifically for music, I mean, like, you can make your own jingles and you can do your own marketing all in-house right from the get-go. So you can get that prototyping your, what are the, I've done one of these, whatever the major crowdfunding, GoFundMe type things are. You can have all of that in-house to see if your proof of concept is going to be viable. And for just like for personal development. Building business requires a lot of discipline. If you have the ability to go learn a musical instrument, or I really do like music specifically, but any discipline, any hobby, you're going to learn to be patient. And patience is very much a necessity for business and business models. And now we'll just go through some of the specific business models and why I like them. So now just discussing some pros and cons of the different business models that I am personally interested in buying. Frankly, if my alcohol company or if I can get some direction on the math, I won't be buying anything. Like I said, I'll be holding my Bitcoin for most of the year because regardless, I have a sizable position that will almost certainly return me more than buying anything now. I've made a couple just kind of lowball bids on some currently established businesses, haven't heard back, so probably won't be closing on those. But the things that I like, the four businesses that I've looked in very actively for the past year are gas stations, bars and restaurants, liquor stores, and ATM routes, and car washes, self-service car washes. So just some pros and cons. Gas stations, buyers don't care much. From the buyer's perspective, when I go into a gas station, I want to get gas and some convenience items. I don't really care if it's that clean. Gas station bathrooms are typically pretty hellish, but the buyers don't really care. It's in, out, get something, go. So location and convenience, I have that as a pro. Necessity as a pro. They're typically low margin though. So I've seen a lot of them operating honestly as low as 8%, but between like 8 and 12% margin. Margin meaning specifically gross revenue, net profit from gross revenue. I think I'll be doing other videos with the terminology of economics. I'm going to be doing stuff on accounting specifically. There's a lot of word salad going on there. But bars and restaurants, I personally like them because they're social and fun. You can go have a beer with your employees, or you can go just hang out at your own place. Music venue, for me specifically, I would like to buy a place with either karaoke or just some sort of outside patio for live music, both for myself and just other musicians. I just think it's a very fun business model. Buyers do care, like the atmosphere and the food quality, obviously, so there's more operational thought for a bar and restaurant as opposed to the other three. Decent margin on food's typically very good, but you also have a good amount of overhead and employee labor costs. But like I said, bars and restaurants, this is probably what I'll close on. Liquor store probably second, gas station probably third, ATM routes probably fourth. Liquor stores, grocery anchors. A lot of businesses will advertise, or brokers of businesses will advertise that the stores aren't grocery anchored. I like them, just more foot traffic, more stability for the store itself. But overall, I think people just steady demand for liquor. I mean, again, it's a low thought thing. You don't really have to have it's nice it's cool if you have a nice storefront, but don't really need it from a buyer's perspective. So I have low maintenance and low employee labor costs for liquor stores. And another thing, I'm looking for something that's completely absentee or pretty much absentee. So I'm looking to clear seller discretionary earnings, 150K to 250K minimum. 150K if they already have a manager in place, 250 if I want to train somebody. ATM routes, no employees, operating cash is required, and it's no thought. People go to Joe's store and then you get cash out, and you're going to make a 3% fee on whatever cash they come out of. So location's pretty important for ATM routes, but again, if you're buying an established one, it's already got the proof of concept. And so I like those just because ATM routes is again no overhead. You need cash to put in the machines, but you don't have a building, you don't have rent. Sometimes the leases do have rents for the machines, but a lot less than $5,000 to $10,000 a month for a bar, restaurant, or one of these other brick and mortars. And then, like I said, those are the 4 that I'm really serious about. I've also just seen, frankly, the only real thing is, like I said, I assess why would the business revenue change? And if the answer is it probably wouldn't, I'm interested in the business model, and I'm looking for something that, for profit margin, like I said, 8 to 12 on a gas station, depends what type of bar and restaurant, but typically 12 to up to 25. The ones I'm in now, I don't expect to do 25. I'd say 15%, 18%, I'll be pretty happy. 20, I'll be ecstatic. 25, yeah. But I think 12 to 20% for a bar and restaurant of all just super general categorization. Liquor stores, 10%. ATM routes, don't really have a great guess off the top of my head because you're just making commissions. But yeah, those are the 4 types of business models that I like. I will be updating you on if and when I close on something later this year. And thanks for watching, and check back for more.